Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So chapter 9 is about Rajavidya Rajaguhyam, the most confidential knowledge. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam, Pavitram Idamuttamam, Pratyakshavagamam Dharmam, Susukam Karmam. It's very easy to perform. So what do you think is the king of all the knowledge? King of knowledge. It says Rajavidya Rajaguhyam. Yes, Vikram.
Mataji, is it Bhakti Yoga?
Yeah, so that means Krishna is going to explain the confidential reason. In this chapter, the last sloka, 934, he's going to disclose that Bhakti Yoga process, and it is easy to perform, right? So in the first few slokas, first 3 slokas, hearing is given the most importance, that is hearing the most confidential knowledge about Krishna, qualification and disqualification of that. And 9.4 to 10 is about the Aishwarya Jnana, Krishna's relationship with this. Okay. So yes, pure devotional service. So Krishna is going to explain that in this chapter, the most confidential chapter. And Krishna is giving the hint about Bhakti Yoga here. Okay, so Bhakti Yoga. So in the 8th chapter, we saw how we can revive our consciousness at the time of death. And Krishna says like how we can fix it, right? By practice. And how is that done? He's explaining in this chapter. So in this chapter, the knowledge of Kevala Bhakti, that's the most confidential knowledge, is explained here. Okay, so there are some similarities in the chapter. So first 3 slokas is about hearing about Krishna. Okay, how is it important? So it is said, Shri Bhagavan Vaja, Idam to guhyatamam pravakshami anasuyave jnana vijnanam sahitam yajnatva mokshase ashubhat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, because you are not envious, never envious of me, I shall speak to you this confidential knowledge. Okay. So why will he speak this confidential knowledge? Because Arjuna was never envious of Krishna. What are the other reasons why Krishna is giving this knowledge to Arjuna? Yes, yes, Avik Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, because Arjuna was a kind and soft-hearted person.
Okay, Rajalakshmi Mataji, any other reason?
He was
Kind, soft-hearted.
Devotee of Krishna.
Devotee of Krishna. Sharan Prabhu, any other reason?
Non-envious.
Mataji, he at the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he says that I surrender unto you. Now I am your devotee.
Good. Yeah,
like
so that means he
says.
surrendered.
So
he
officially
surrendered
he became a devotee of Shri Krishna and accepted him as his spiritual master. So he becomes eligible.
Yes. So Meenamati, any other reason? Yes, all of you are right. There's one more reason. Yes, he was never envious. He was a devotee. He surrendered to Krishna, became his disciple. Then
he was cousin brother of Krishna.
Cousin brother.
And a pure devotee of the Lord.
Pure devotee of the Lord. Eternal associate of the Lord. Right? Eternally.
And surrendered.
Yeah, surrendered soul. Good. So these are some of the reasons. There are 4-5 reasons why Krishna selected Arjuna. Yes, Sharan Prabhu. Oh, you can unmute.
Hare Krishna Mataji, and they are Nara Narayan, right,
yes.
Mataji? Because Shri Krishna knew who Arjuna was, but Arjuna forgot who Shri Krishna was.
Yes. So Narayana Rishi, and he is Vishaka Saki, who is Ramananda Rai. So that's what I saw, eternal associate. So Bhaktosi Sakacheti, he's a friend as well as a devotee. He's a friend also. You know, you tell the confidential reason to your friend. You won't tell it to a normal person, or not even friends, best friends. No, when you're very close, you tell your secrets to the friends. So here, Krishna is going to say the confidential reason or thing to Arjuna because he is the best friend and a devotee, surrendered soul, pure devotee, and kind and soft-hearted, as Prabhu said. Yes, in the first chapter, it said he's kind, soft-hearted, non-envious of Krishna. Never envious of Krishna. Who was the one? You can put in the chat. Who was the one who was envious of Krishna? Anybody who was envious? Yes. Yes. Yeah, Duryodhan was envious of Krishna. Shishupal was envious of Krishna. Good. You can type in the chat. Yes. And there was one more person. Does anyone know? He says he's Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. He says he's Krishna.
I forgot his name, Mataji. Read about him.
Yeah, who was that? Sharan Prabhu, you know? Okay,
Yes, Mataji, it was Pundrik.
Poundraka. Yes, Poundraka.
Pundrik. And
Poundraka.
also,
So, yeah, he was also having the 4 hands, and he said he is Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. Yes, who's this Rajalakshmi, yeah, Poundrak. So Poundrak also had Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. He used to say, yes, I am Krishna, I am Krishna. Then Krishna's Sudarshan Chakra went and killed him. Even Shishupal. So we were all envious of Krishna. But Krishna, Arjuna was never envious of Krishna. So Krishna is going to give the most confidential knowledge. But Krishna delivered Shishupal. Even though Shishupal was envious of Krishna, Krishna delivered him. But why he is not delivering us? Because we are envious of Krishna's devotees. So if anything is there, if we want to be envious of somebody, angry at someone, everything towards Krishna. That's what Krishna says, not to my devotees. So here he says the importance of hearing is important. Okay. Yes, Sharan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, also Rukmin, the brother of
Yeah,
Rukmini
Rukmi.
Devi.
Yes, he was also envious of Krishna. Rukmi.
And also Mataji, during the Shamatak Jewel Leela, he
Hmm.
was also envious of Shri Krishna because Shri Krishna told him to give it to his father, the
Yeah,
king,
the jewel.
but he
Yes.
did not give that Shamatak Jewel. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, by knowing this knowledge, what Krishna is going to say about hearing about him, chanting about him, remembering and serving him, what happens? We get relief from all miseries, everything, all the negative things, all the sins, and all the miseries get revealed just by hearing about Krishna. So, Shrinvata, hearing is the first step. So, as a devotee hears more and more about the Supreme Lord, he becomes enlightened. This hearing process is recommended in Bhagavatam also. Shrinvata Sukata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayam Stabatrani Vidavati Sukhasadam. So devotees are constantly engaged in Supreme Lord's service, and the Lord understands the mentality and sincerity of a particular living entity who's engaged in Krishna consciousness and give him the intelligent Tadami Buddhi Yogam, right, to understand the science of Krishna consciousness in association of devotees. So discussion of Krishna is very important, and if fortunate person has such association, tries to assimilate the knowledge, he will surely make advancement towards spiritual realization. So spiritual advancement is mainly because of hearing. The more we hear about Krishna, what happens? The more our doubts get cleared and the more we get attached to Krishna. So it's very important. But hearing should be done from the right source. It has to be done from the right source. Kamsa was not envious of Krishna. He was angry at Krishna. He was not envious. See, envy is basically that you have something and I like it, but I don't like that you have it. That's called envy. Envy means I like the thing which you have. So Shishupal was liking how Krishna was opulent and all that. Rukmi was liking all the opulence, but he didn't like that Krishna is having that. Or Shishupal liked getting honored in the Raj Suyajna, but he didn't like Krishna was getting honored. So like that, that's envy. So Kamsa was not in that. Yes, Jarasandha a little bit, yes, he was, because he was also angry at Krishna because Krishna revealed his the truth of his life, of his how he was born to Bhima. And that's how Bhima could kill him. Okay, so Krishna's messages are very potent. Okay, very, very potent messages, and it has to be heard. Lord, help us to understand. So he sees the mentality and sincerity of the speaker. So Krishna is telling Arjuna the more confidential matters to encourage Arjuna in higher elevation in the potent service. So one who is situated in most confidential knowledge is natural, transcendental, and has no material pangs. Ikaryasya haryadasya karmana manasarira nikhileshu api avasteshu jivan mukta sauchyate. So this is a condition of a liberated soul, like a dry coconut. Even though within the coconut, the dry coconut is not attached to the coconut. So just by hearing, Srila Prabhupada's one qualification was he likes to hear. That's why Prabhupada got first and second initiation together. Abhay Charan became Abhay Charana Aravinda by Bhaktistan Saraswati. Why? Just because he likes to hear. So we have to hear about, that's why it says, Nityam Bhagavata Seva. The more we hear about Krishna, the more we get attached to him. So what we have to do is we have to do the ninefold process of devotional service. Then our heart become cleansed of material contamination. We understand the science of Krishna and elevates our spiritual consciousness. We understand our spiritual activities also. But we should be anasuyave, non-envious. Also, Bhagavatam says, no, Parama Nirmatsaranam Sata, Nirmatsara, non-envious. So these scriptures are basically for non-envious. It's not like we hear about Krishna and we become envious of Krishna. No. Envy is the root cause of misinterpretation. Okay, and here's also it says that we need need all high academic scholars to give inaccurate commentaries. We are actually envious of Krishna. So one who criticizes the character of Krishna without knowing him is foolish. And recommended approaches, we have to avoid such commentaries. Actually, commentary is not required for Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has said everything properly. Prabhupada says, I just gave as it is. He didn't add anything here. So modified commentary is possible only by devotee. So when you read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, you should see from whom, who's the author, from whom, which bona fide sampradaya it's coming from, because it will misinterpret things. Okay, so in the second sloka, the 8 characteristics of knowledge of pure bhakti is given. Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, Pavitram, Idam Uttamam, Pratyakshavagamam, Dharmyam, Susubham, Kartum Avyayam. So this knowledge is Rajavidya, king of all education. That's the essence. King means once you know this, you don't have to know anything more. And king of all secrets is Rajaguhyam. Secret, it should not be told to everyone actually. It's only for devotees. And Pavitram, it's so pure. When Krishna is pure, this knowledge is also pure. And it purifies all material contamination. Like example given, what is the example? Or what is the analogy? Krishna is compared to what? To show he's Pavitra. And anybody can unmute. Madhusudan Prabhu. You know? Okay, who else know? To show Krishna is pure, and what is the process or what is it does? Yes, Ganges water purifies us, but then Ganges become impure by that. And again, pure devotees go and take a dip and purify the Ganges. Sunshine, yes, sun. So Krishna, you've seen how sunshine is. The sunshine absorbs even the urine and everything and removes the contamination. So similar, but does the sun become contaminated? No. Similarly, Krishna takes away all the impurities within us and everything, but then he remains pure. He doesn't become impure. So purest of all, okay, he's pure and purifies our material contamination. Uttamam, he's transcendent to the darkness or ignorance of the world. Pratyakshavagamam gives direct experience of the self by realization. Dharmyam is a perfect religion, service to the Lord. Susugam kartava is very easily performed, easily and joyfully performed, everlasting, eternal. So Krishna Bhakti, Krishna consciousness has to be joyfully performed easily. And that's how children and youth will like it. If we try to make it very serious, then they won't like it. But it should be joyfully performed. Kirtan and festivals and yatra or prasadam. So then they will like it. They'll start liking it easily and joyfully performed. Even Prabhupada says a child or even an animal can take part in this process. They can't meditate, they can't do Ashtanga Yoga and all that, but they can jump in the kirtan, they can clap in the kirtan, they can hear it. And Prabhupada says, even if you don't hear, so initially when Prabhupada used to give lectures, sometimes the Indian disciples won't understand English, or when Prabhupada gives class in Hindi, the foreign disciples doesn't understand. So Prabhupada says, it's okay, you just listen to it. That vibration is enough. You know, when the thunder storm comes, when there is a thunder, so do you actually say, oh, it's going to rain? You know, anybody, whichever part of the world there is thunder, so you know, right, like that. Yeah, Sharan Prabhu, right? So when Mahaprabhu used to go through the Jharkhand forest, he was making even the animals dance, Dule Dule Gaurachand Hari Gunagai. So all the creepers of Vrindavan, the tigers and the deers and lions, everybody were dancing Hari Hari. So that's the power of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Prabhupada is like, Mahaprabhu is Krishna. He can make animals dance. We can't do that. At least we can make human dance. So that's how we bring them to Krishna consciousness. So during festival time, you should bring your family, friends to the temple and get them exposed to Krishna consciousness. Why? During festivals, there's a lot of prasadam and they will like it. There's a crowd and there's nice kirtan and bhajan. So that's how you bring somebody to Krishna consciousness in that way. So 8 characteristics of knowledge is, first is Rajavidya. This knowledge is the king of education. Why? Because it's the essence, right? Essence of cream. Okay, cream of Vedic knowledge. And it is described by all the philosophers, even Vedavyas himself. And it's Rajaguhyam, it's most confidential because it talks about the eternal activities of the soul. And it's a confidential knowledge, explains a spirit soul as imperishable and immutable. And But modern education system doesn't accept this. Means they just teach about the bodily platform, right? Whatever we teach, we were not taught about the soul in us and everything. So if they were taught, so many suicide rates would have come down, especially among the youths, right? But then that's a bad luck. But then hope in future it happens. So it's Raja Guhyam, it's most confidential knowledge. And Pavitra Midamuttam is the purest of all. Okay. And it will destroy all the seeds of sinful activities like aprarabdha, phalam pap, tambijam phalon. Ramanaiva praliyate Vishnu Bhakti Ratat. Aprarabdha, phalam, papam, kutam, bijam, phalonmukam. So don't worry about these 4 stages, 5 stages. We'll study more in Nectar of Devotion. Okay, about these. What are these stages? Aprarabdha, what is phalam, papam, kutam, bijam. These are all different stages of sinful reactions. And Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, has completely nicely explained all these stages. So we'll see that in NOD. But just understand that all the stages of sinful reactions gets destroyed just by chanting the holy name or by this devotional service. Everything. Okay. So in Pavitra, and it implies the 4 stages can be purified. Only those purified can engage in devotional service. Yesham Twandagatam Pabam, Jananam Punyakarmanam, Tvedanda Mohanir Muktam Bhajanti Mam Vridavritaha. And it's Uttamam. It implies beyond Tama. And devotional service is never contaminated by the 3 modes. Although sometimes devotees appear to be engaged like ordinary man, therefore devotional service is transcendental. So whatever we do, initially we think, oh, like karmis, we think, oh, it's like this, and I know it's transcendental actually. And Pratyaksha, it's direct perception of self by realization. Okay, that we feel the transcendental pleasure. Anandambadi Vartanam Pradipadam Purnamridasana. We get that happiness. So advancement is irrespective of previous education or qualification. So devotional service is very powerful, and simply by engaging one in devotional service, one becomes enlightened. Like Narad Muni, no? Just by serving the Bhakti Vedantist, he became, from the son of a maid servant, he became Narad Muni again. So this is the qualification of association of devotees. And Dharma, it's a perfect religion. So what is Dharma? Dharma means religious principles like Savai Pumsa Parodharmo Yado Bhaktir Adokshe Ahaitaki Apratihadaya Atma Suprasidati. So Dharma is what function we are supposed to do as human beings. If we don't have Dharma, then we are like animals. So Dharma of sugar is sweet, Dharma of salt is to be salty, Dharma of chili is to be spicy, like that. So Dharma of human beings is to do devotional service to Krishna. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying Vedas. Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pratishtam. Atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upayati charyam. So by studying all the Vedas, doing austerities, charities, everything is taken care just by doing devotional service. Because devotional service is so potent. Just by watering the root of the tree, right? And the tree is nourished. So just by associating with great devotees, great acharyas, acharyavan purusho veda, then if we are in the association of great acharyas, then we can become familiar to this knowledge of Bhakti. And Susugam Kartavya is very easy to perform. Devotional service is very happy. Why do you say Bhakti is easy as well as difficult? Who can say? Okay, we say Bhakti is easy, Susugam Kartavya, but it's difficult also, no? So how do you define that? How can something be easy and difficult at the same time? Neetu Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, like Krishna said, and like Sadharman Parityajya. So this surrender is quite difficult. Pure devotion is difficult. But if we come with the association of devotees, it becomes easy.
Yes. So yes, so as Mataji said, Sarvadharma Parityajya, it's very difficult when we give up all the religious principles and surrendering. For surrendering, it's very difficult part. Yes, Rajalakshmi Mataji.
There is no restriction. Any age group people can do the devotion of service.
So that is Susukam. It is easy because as Mataji said, any age group can participate. Avik Prabhu, yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, it is easy for those who has faith in the process and is convinced fully. This process is very easy. but who doesn't have Shraddha or doesn't have faith on the instructions of spiritual master, so for him it is the process is very difficult.
Yes. So that means if they have faith, then it's going to be easy. But if he doesn't have faith, yes, it's going to be difficult. Or if he doesn't surrender to a spiritual master, it's difficult. And to do pure devotional service is very difficult, as we'll be studying in nectar of devotion. Anya Abhilashida Shunyam, Jnana Karmadana Avritam, Anukulena Krishna, Shilam Bhakti Rutaba, Anya Abhilashida Shunyam. To not have any material desires, to be completely, and to chant Shuddhanam. We are in Nama Para, Nama Pas, to have Shuddhanam. Very, very difficult to do pure devotional service. Like, it's difficult. But it's easy, as Mata said, any age group can participate, anybody can come. Tatrarpida Nemada Smaranenaka. There's no rules and regulations. That's what we were told, no, when we came to ISKCON for the first time. Nobody told about tea, coffee, onion, garlic. We would have run away. Non-veg. Nobody would have stayed. But then initially, when you are in LKG, you can write even in the margin. Nobody cares about the rules and regulations. Anywhere you can scribble, teacher gives a mark. But as you go up to the 10th standard, 12th standards, board exam, there's some rules and regulations to be followed. So similarly, in Bhakti, initially, when we keep the baby steps, it's no rules. It's easy to perform. We feel like, oh, we're on the top of the world. We know everything. But as you dive deep into the ocean, we don't know anything. We're just collecting small pebbles at the ocean shore. But initially we felt we know everything. But as you go deeper inside the Bhakti, we are nothing. We need to know more and more about Bhakti, right? So that means Bhakti becomes difficult at that time, to have pure devotional service, to do Shuddhanam, avoiding the 10 offenses to the holy name. Yes, it's difficult. But initially, anywhere you can chant Hare Krishna, not even without brushing your teeth or taking bath. That's what we say initially. It's easy. So in that way, it's easy and difficult. It's easy for a devotee who has faith, as Prabhu said. It's easy for them to follow the instructions of spiritual master. But if we don't have faith in the spiritual master and we start doubting the process, then it's going to be difficult. So Susukam, the process of devotional service is very happy one. A positive engagement for senses. Prabhupada says, so one can simply hear the chanting of the glories of the Lord, or can attend philosophical lectures and transcendental knowledge given by Acharyas. Simply by sitting, one can learn. Then one can eat the remnants of food offered to the Lord, nice palatable dishes. In every state, devotional service is joyful. Okay, great sages like Sanat Kumara became devotees just by smelling the tulsi offered in the lotus feet of the Lord. So in every step, devotional service is joyful. Susukam. One can execute devotional service even in the most poverty-stricken condition. Like Prabhupada says, it's Patra Pushpa Palam Toyam, and Krishna says, okay, you don't have tulsi at home, fine. You don't have any flowers at home, fine. Phalam, no, we are so poor, you don't even have a fruit. At least Toyam, water is available everywhere, every part of the world, even to the poorest house. Yes, nowadays water problem is there, but still at least little water to be offered to Krishna. That's definitely there. So Prabhupada says, even in a poverty condition, we can still serve Krishna. And Susukam Kartam Avyayam. Avyayam means eternally existing. Yeah. So eternally existing means this doesn't die with this body. Whatever material possessions we have, everything goes away when we leave the body. But then spiritual life always stays. So Mayavadi says that as long as they are not liberated, they will continue their devotional service. But at the end, when they're liberated, they will become one with the Lord after liberation. That's what Mayavadi philosophy, that's refuted here. So Krishna says also, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Nashochati Nakangshati Sama Sarvesha Bhudesha Madbhakti Lavade Param. He says, once become a pure devotee, become transcendently situated, then he doesn't lament or he doesn't hunger for it. So nothing belongs to him. Everything belongs to Krishna. So he'll be Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogadaha Bhagavad Tattva Vijnana Mukta Sangha Sujayave. He'll be Prasanna. He'll be always happy. So thus establish the mode of unalloyed goodness. The man whose mind have been enlivened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of God and in a stage of liberation from all material possession. So he is the one who is actually very joyful. So this is Raja Vidya, Raja Muhyam, Pavitram Idamuttamam, Pratyaksha Vagavam Dharmyam, Susukam Kartam Avyayam. So there are 8 principles of devotional service here, or Bhakti. Okay, these are the 8 things. It's Raja Vidya is king of knowledge. Raja Muhyam is the king of confidential confidence. And then Pavitram, it's very pure. Uttamam, it's excellent. And Pratyaksha Vagamam Dharmyam, Susugam Karte is very easy to perform. So the faithless cannot attain Krishna. That's what the third sloka says. The faithless person cannot attain Krishna. Ashraddhadana Purusha Dharmasya Parantapa Aprapya Mam Nivartande Mritti Samsara Vatmani. Those who are not faithful in the devotional service cannot attain Krishna, or conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. So faith is very important. Ado Shraddha Sadhu Sangha Bhajta Kriya. Shraddha is important. If we don't have faith in Krishna, then what happens is slowly we try to leave Krishna consciousness. I've seen so many devotees, might be 8 years, 10 years in the moment. They leave because they don't have faith. They didn't reach Nishta stage. 5, 6 years in Krishna consciousness and you leave it, you stop chanting, you stop associating with devotees and just vanish away. But that's not a great thing. To stay in Krishna consciousness is a great thing. Many will come. Not everyone will be able to stay. So staying in Krishna consciousness is very, very important. And that's possible by association of devotees. You can see how faith is created is by association of devotees. When we see other devotees advancing, when we see other devotees chanting and doing devotional service in ecstasy, then we also try to do that. We stop associating in non-devotees, or we decrease it, and we start associating more with devotees so that our faith increases. And when we hear about life experiences from devotees, from Bhagavatam also we can hear how much Krishna helps the devotees. But when the real life experience comes, we try to increase our faith. So development of faith is important in Krishna consciousness. And simply by serving Krishna, one can achieve all perfection. It says, Tata Karur Mula Nishina Prityanti Tat Skanda Bhujo Pasaka Pranopara Pranopaharacha Yatendriyanam Tateva Sarvahanam Achyudeja. So watering the root of the tree satisfies the whole tree, or feeding the food to the stomach. So like that, when you do Krishna consciousness, then all other things are taken care. But how do we increase our faith? By association of devotees. So there are 3 types of Krishna conscious men based on the faith. That's third level, lowest, Kanishtas. They have no faith, no knowledge of scriptures, so easily they fall down. May officially be engaged in devotional service, but cannot achieve the highest perfection because they have some hidden motives. Second level is have firm faith, but not very advanced in scriptures, simply trying to follow by association and simplicity. First life is Uttamadhikari, firm faith, well-versed in devotional scriptures, no chance of falling down. So the first level of devotees are called Uttamadhikari, the second is Madhyama, and the third is Kanishta, or the lowest. Okay, so based on the faith. So somebody having strong faith like Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, they are all in the highest level, Uttamadhikaris. Just by seeing them, we feel like chanting. Okay, so, who is a devotee? I'll tell you 3 options. Anybody chanting Hare Krishna even once, is he a devotee? Anybody constantly chanting Hare Krishna is a devotee? Or just by seeing somebody, we feel like chanting, is he a devotee? Who's a devotee or who's a Vaishnava? This question was asked to Mahaprabhu. So who's a devotee? First, second, or third? Who chanted once, even that person is a devotee? Okay. What about others? Those who continuously chant?
All 3 are devotees with the different levels, Mataji.
Yeah, these are devotees with different levels. Very good. So that means we have Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. So just by chanting, Prabhu says all of them. Yeah, that means in different levels they are. Like a person who's chanting Hare Krishna even once is a Kanishta Adhikari. Kanishta. He's just a neophyte devotee, you can say. Or he's a devotee because he's chanted Hare Krishna even once. Mahaprabhu said that. And somebody is constantly chanting, like every day 16 rounds of whatever rounds he's doing. That's Madhyamadhikari. And just by seeing somebody, we feel like chanting. That's Uttamadhikari. That's why Sadhu Sangha is very important. You have to associate with pure devotees. Just by seeing them, just by the association, you feel like chanting. So Mahaprabhu says all 3 are Vaishnavas because Mahaprabhu said, Prabhu ka he Vaishnav seva nama sankirtan dui kare shikra pave Krishnera charan. So Prabhu, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, said 2 things we have to do. Vaishnav seva nama sankirtan. You have to serve Vaishnavas and do nama sankirtan. So the people in the village was thinking, who's a Vaishnava? So they asked this question and Mahaprabhu said, anybody chanting Hare Krishna even once is a Vaishnava because he's a Kanishta. Anybody constantly chanting is a Vaishnava, Smadhyama. And somebody just by seeing them, we feel like chanting, that's Uttamadhikari. So these are the 3 levels. So we will study more about Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama in Nectar of Devotion. Detail, 1 chapter is full of that. So we just now you understand the 3 levels are there. So faithless person cannot attain Krishna. Faith is the most important factor. How do you develop faith? I mean, what is the 2 steps before faith? The 9 steps of devotional service, Shravanam, Shraddha, Sadhu, Sangha, Bhajana, Kriya, right? Before Shraddha, what are the 2 steps? Anybody knows? I discussed in another class. Okay. Shraddha, Sadhu, Sangha, Bhajana, Kriya, Nathanikri, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema. Okay. Now there are 2 steps before Shraddha. Yes, Abhik Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, is this Pranipatena and Pariprasthena?
No, that is approaching a spiritual master. Neetu Mataji.
Mataji, Mahat Seva and Satam Kripa.
Very good. So what is Satam Kripa?
The like first Seva means first we get mercy from the like we have to
Mercy.
serve the devotees, and
Yeah.
then Kripa means get mercy from the devotees.
Yes. So Mahat Seva and Satam Kripa. So we need to get the mercy of the devotees and Mahat Seva, you have to serve the devotee. So when you start serving devotees or when you start getting their mercy, when you start serving, you get the mercy, the faith increases. So this is the 2 steps, Satam Kripa and Mahat Seva. Okay, this is very important. Yeah. So faithless person find this path very difficult. So even after hearing about Krishna and excellence of devotional service, they think it to be simply theology, even if supposedly engaged in devotional service. Yeah, so Deepti Mataji says, like how about that air hostess, everyone knows, no? Just gave a glass of milk and fruits to Srila Prabhupada. And she just took the Mahaprasadam, the puffed rice from Prabhupada, and she became a devotee. So just did service and she got the mercy. She got the mercy of Prabhupada's Mahaprasada and became a devotee. So that's how the faith increases. So their faith, very little hope of perfection, destiny of faithlessness, they return back to the path of birth and death. So if we don't have faith, what happens? Our devotional service starts shaking and we start to fall down. And what happens? We come to the back to the path of birth and death. So we should have full faith in Krishna. And 4 to 10 is about the Aishwarya Jnana, Krishna's relationship with this world. That's what the 9.4 to 10 is. Maya tadam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina matsani sarva bhutani nachaham desham avastitaha. Krishna says, by me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. So what do you mean by that? All beings are in Krishna, but Krishna is not in them. Krishna is there, no? But why is Krishna saying, all beings are in me, but I am not in them? Yes, you say, who knows? Yes, Deepti Mataji says, as Paramatma, he is there in us. Yes. Rajalakshmi Mataji?
Krishna is aloof here.
Yes. He is aloof in the sense he is not attached. Yes. Neetu Mataji, any other explanation?
Mataji, we all are dependent on him. He is not dependent on us.
Yes.
And,
Krishna is independent. Yes.
Yeah, and he is not dependent on karma. Like he's not bound by the 3 modes.
Yes. So yes, he is independent and he's not dependent on others and he's aloof, right? So Krishna says, all beings are in me. I'm not in them in the sense he's there as Paramatma, but he's not attached to us, or he is just a witness. He's not attached to this body. He's not attached to my karma, as mother said, the 3 modes cannot touch him. He's aloof. That's what it says. So Krishna has completed his glorification of the most confidential knowledge. Now he is going to speak from 4 to 9, 10 about the Achintya Beda Abeda Tattvam, that is simultaneously oneness and difference, our relationship with this material world. So Krishna explains the Achintya Beda Abeda Tattvam, that is simultaneously we are one with the Lord in quality, different in quantity, and he gives the Aishwarya Jnana, knowledge of opulences. So he's all pervading. Krishna is Avyakta Murtina. He indicates in the unmanifested form, manifested form. This implies that we cannot see the Lord by our gross material senses. Other Shri Krishna Namadi Nama Nigrahim Indriye Sevan Mukehi Jivado Swayameva Swaratyada. Other Shri Krishna Namadi Nabave Grahya Indriye. So we may not be able to understand Krishna just by our blood material senses. Okay, so we won't be able to understand Krishna by our blind senses. We should engage in pure devotional service under proper guidance. Then Krishna reveals Swayameva Swaratyat. So Lord is unmanifested to material senses, but can be perceived by one whose senses are purified by devotional sense. It's the only way to see Lord. Premanjana Chidita Bhakti Vilochanena Sanda Sadaiva Hrudeshu Vilokayati Yam Shama Sundaram Achinte Gunaswapa Govindamadi Purisham Tama. So we won't be able to see Krishna with our blind senses. We have to get purified. So Krishna says all beings are in me means everything is resting in Krishna. If we know the entire cosmic manifestation, everything is Krishna's energy. And sunshine is spread all over the creation. All universe are resting on the sunshine. Everything is taken care by Krishna. But I am not in them in the sense Krishna is not personally dependent, or since God is all pervading, he has lost his personal existence. No, that's not there. Krishna is a person and his existence is not lost. Like king of the head of the government is present in all the department by his energy. Like the king need not have to go to different parts. He can send his representative. Like similarly, so Krishna can send his representative to do different things. He need not personally go there. Okay. So Ekamshena Sthito Jagat means by one fragment, Krishna pervades the entire universe. So everything is resting on Krishna. And Krishna is aloof. Yes, he's not attached. He's not bound by karma also. Racha Matstani Bhutani Pashyame Yogamaishwaram Bhuta Brahnacha Bhutasto Mamat Bhuta Bhavanaha. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me before my mystic opulence. Although I'm the maintainer of law, living in peace, and although I'm everywhere, I'm not a part of this cosmic manifestation. For myself is the very source of creation. So Krishna is the source. Like example, you can see some spiders. With their saliva, they creates the cobweb, they maintains it and annihilates it also. So they are themselves creating. Krishna is Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the creator. So it is these are the inconceivable potency of the Lord. We are not able to conceive it. After explaining the previous text that all beings rest in Krishna, Krishna says the opposite, that they do not rest in me. The contradictory. How is it working? Because he's personally aloof from working of the universe. Everything is carried out by his energy. Krishna personally need not go there. So this term describes the inconceivable mystic opulence of the Lord. Okay. Like for example, the Ishopanishad Sloka 5, like Krishna walks, doesn't walk, he's inside, he's outside, he's far, he's near, like that. All contradictory statement. But that's true. Krishna is far and near. Why Krishna is far and near? How can Krishna be far and near at the same time? Yes, Neetu Mataji.
He's near as he is residing in Paramatma in our heart,
Yes.
and he's far, he's living in Golok Vrindavan.
Yeah. So for a devotee, Krishna is in their heart as Paramatma and Krishna is very close. But for a non-devotee, Krishna is very, very far. And also, if you see in that aspect, Krishna is in Goloka. But we know Krishna is there in every atom, Andarastha Paramanushya. So in that way, he is near. He walks and doesn't walk. Yes, as Paramatma within us, he walks with us. But then actually, he is Goloke Vanivishyati Akilatma Buddha. He is in his Goloka. Like when we walk, we see the moon walking with us. But actually, is the moon walking? No. So like that. And he's inside, outside. Yes, inside as Paramatma, outside in every atom, Krishna is there, or his energy is there. So like that. So everything is created, doesn't rest in Krishna. That means Krishna is not attached to it. So there is Krishna's inconceivable opulences. The planetary system is floating in space because of the Lord. The Lord's energy is holding it. The Supreme Lord is performing inconceivably wonderful pastimes, displaying his energy. There's no difference between his mind and himself because he's absolute spirit. So we may think of doing something, but there are so many impediments and sometimes it's not possible to do as we like. But when Krishna wants to do something, simply by his will, everything is performed so perfectly that one cannot imagine how it's been done. So Krishna gives an analogy to explain here about the sky and the wind in the 6th sloka. Yadakasha stito nityam vayu sarvatra gomahan tata sarvani bhutani matstanyati upadaraya. Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests, always in the sky, all created beings rest in me. So sky is the biggest manifestation to conceive. So in that sky, the wind is biggest, right? So wind is great and influence all the moment, but the wind is never beyond the sky. It's always subordinate to the sky. So everything is created by the Lord, but everything is subordinate to the Lord. The Lord is aloof and unaffected by it. Like the sky is aloof and not affected by the wind. So this is one of the analogy you can quote. And Prabhupada says, and others also, other things are also quoted in this purport. He also says, it's out of fear of the Lord that the wind is blowing. It's out of fear of the Lord the sun rises and the sets. Because they're all demigods, they're all Krishna's servants. Okay. So by the supreme order, under the superintendence of the Supreme Personality, because the moon, sun, and other planets are moving. Brahma Samhita also says, Yachakshuresha Savita Sagala Grahana Raja Samasta Suramurti Rashesha Teja Yasya Jnaya Brahmati Sampramakala Chakro Govindamari Purusham Tabaham Pajami. This is a description of movement of the sun. It said that the sun is considered as the eyes of the Supreme Lord. The sun and the moon are actually two eyes in the Lord, it is said. And still it is moving in a prescribed orbit by the order of the supreme will of the Lord. Just imagine Krishna takes away his energy, then everything falls down, everything will not be in order and proper. Sarva Bhutani Kaunteya Pragritim Yandi Mahamikam Kalpakshaya Punastani Kalpadav Visrijamyaham. For son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestation enter into my nature. At the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. So, how is creation happening? By Karadakshay Vishnu. How is he creating? All the creation of the different universe, everything. Yes? Yes, Sunita Mataji.
Mataji, from his breathing and from the pores or sometime perspiration.
Yes. So as Subina Mataji says by glance, Sharan Prabhu says pose, Sunita Mataji, yes. So by breathing. So there are different explanations. Sometimes it is said by exhalation, like when Krishna breathes out, all the universes are created. When he breathes in, all the universes is annihilated or going back to him, destroyed. So as I say, from his pores, the different universes are created. And also by glance, Krishna just can glance and do creation. So Prabhupada says, when especially now it's summer, so we know how much we are sweating, right? Especially when it's mid noon, like 1 p.m. So we are out and so hot, the whole dress get drenched in sweat. So Prabhupada says, your body can create this much sweat or water from your body. Why can't the Lord create a supreme water, so powerful water? It's like Garbhodaksha ocean. And why can't he lie in the Garbhodaksha ocean as Garbhodaksha Vishnu? So he can, right? So we ourselves can create this much water. Krishna can create so much of water. So Krishna, just by glance, he can create. Just by his pose, he can create. Or by breathing, he can do the creation. But it's under the will of the Lord. All the material manifestations are automatically created and annihilated again and again. Bhuta, Pralyate. Creation also happens, destruction also happens. And at the end of the millennium, meaning at the time of Brahma's death, at this time, the energy is wound up by the Lord and he inhales. The Lord expands himself in the material energy and then Krishna destroys everything. And then there is gradual evolution of the species from one form to another. And all species of life are created by the Lord and immediately along with the universe at the beginning of creation based on the desires and past karma. So based on that, we get different bodies. Okay, so Krishna is as Paramatma and Parameshwara, he is aloof. Prakritim swam avastapya srijami punah punah bhutagramam imam Krishna avasam prakrite vasat. Whole cosmic order is under me and under my will, it's automatically manifested again and again. And under my will, it's annihilated at the end. So it's Krishna's will. We can't do anything. When Krishna wants, creation happens. When Krishna doesn't want, the annihilation can happen. He's Parameshwara, he's aloof. And how does the material world continue? The supreme world is For Lord is always present in his energy also. And everything is definitely under the supreme will of the he enters as three Vishnu forms, right? Mahatattva. So creation happens from Karadashai Vishnu, then he becomes Garbhadashai Vishnu, and from his navel, the 14 planetary system comes through the lotus, and he becomes Kshirodashai Vishnu and enters into our heart as Paramatma. So material nature acts by his desire, so it's automatically manifested, the material. And Krishna is not attached to anything. So Krishna is detached. Krishna has no direct involvement, but acts through material nature. So creation takes place to accommodate inclinators or the desires of various living entities. Karanam gunasangasya. Because we associate with different modes, different creation happens. Tachamam tani karmani nibadnadi dhananjaya udasina vadasinam asaktam teshu karmashu. Oh Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I'm ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. So all the work cannot bind Krishna, right? He is as neutral. Like, for example, a high court judge, you can see so many decisions he's giving, but is he affected by anything? No, he's neutral with the gain or loss, right? So similarly, Krishna is also a neutral with everyone. Krishna's, and what about the devotees then? Krishna is neutral, impartial. Then is Krishna partial to his devotees? Yes. Krishna is Bhakta Valsala. Krishna takes special care of his devotees. Isn't that partiality? Yes, how? Krishna is not partial, right? Krishna says, Samoham sarva bhudeshu name dveshinastina priya ye bhajanti mam bhaktya mai te sheshu chapiham. Yes, I'm equal to everyone, but those who are devoted to me, I take special care, Krishna says. So how is Krishna partial then? Sharan Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Shri Krishna is partial in a way because Shri Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita that he reciprocates to the level of how much the devotee surrenders unto him. So in that way, Mataji, he is partial. Hare Krishna.
That's not partiality, Prabhu. Like, that's like, there are children, okay, in your place. Like, you have your own child and also you have a neighboring child. So Prabhupada says the affection of you towards your own child is natural. Nothing is wrong in it, right? Because the child is dependent on you. I've told that story, right? A young child who's constantly dependent on the mother. The child wants everything from the mother. Has to change the diaper, give food and everything. But there's an elder child who's self-independent, +2, and he's doing his own work. Just extra, little bit care given. That's it. So the mother has to take extra care of the small child. Like that, devotee is totally dependent on Krishna, chanting the holy name, crying for the Lord, in the sense calling of the Lord. The Lord gives, that's not partiality, that's natural affection. So once this one, Birbal and Akbar, does anyone know that story? Akbar and Birbal. There's Akbar asked, no, why is your Lord coming personally to deliver, to help the devotees? Does anyone know? No. Okay, so Akbar and Birbal had a conversation, and Akbar asked, what is so great about your Lord? Why is he coming personally to take care of Paritranaya Sadhuna Vinay? Why is Krishna coming personally to help Devaki, Vasudeva, Kundi Maharani and all that? Krishna could have sent somebody else. Why Narasimhadev personally had to come to protect Prahlad? He could have sent some agent, somebody else. No, why Lord is personally coming? So Akbar's son was in the first floor. They were all having a discussion, and he was also there in the balcony. And Akbar and Birbal was having a conversation. The son was looking down. There was a swimming pool. So Birbal went and pushed Akbar's son, that's king's son, to the swimming pool from first floor. So the son fell down into the pool, and he was not knowing swimming. So Akbar, without even thinking for a second, he ran to the balcony and jumped to the swimming pool to save the child. And then he came out of the child, and he was shocked. Why did Birbal behave like this? Birbal came down and said, there were so many guards here. You are the king. You could have asked me to jump. You could have asked your guards and so many ministers to jump and protect your son. Why did you personally jump? And Akbar is like, it's my own son, my son. So that Birbal is like, this is what exactly the God does. God, all the devotees are Krishna's personal son. Krishna says, Aham Bija Pratapita. Actually, everybody, even non-devotees, atheistic people, everybody, even other living entities, animals, birds, everything is Krishna's sons. But human beings who have good consciousness, who chant Hare Krishna, in the sense, whose devotees, they're specially inclined, special for the Lord. That's not partiality. That's natural affection. Prabhupada says. It's natural. Nothing wrong in it. Naturally, Krishna takes care of everyone. But Krishna is more inclined because the devotees, as Prabhu said, "Ye yatamam pravatande." Yes, correct. Because devotees take 100 steps towards Krishna. Krishna takes 200 steps towards them. Krishna is Bhakta Valsala, Aham Bhakta Paradina. He is very, very dear to his devotees. And devotees are his favorite. So Krishna shows that that's not partiality. We can't say it's partiality. Just Krishna is reciprocating according to their dependence. So this is why Krishna personally comes to deliver the devotees. So that's not partiality. We can't say it's natural affection because they're dependent on the Lord. Lord has some responsibilities to answer them back, right? No, not partial. Krishna says himself, Samoham Sarva Bodeshu Name Dveshina Stinapriya. I'm equal to everyone. I'm not partial. I think it's the 9th chapter, 29th sloka. Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, we'll come to it. 29th sloka. It says, Samoham Sarva Bhudeshu Name Dveshinastina Priya. Krishna says, yeah, 29th sloka. So in that he says, I envy no one. I'm not partial to anyone. Krishna says, I'm not partial to anyone. Can you hear some background noise? No, right? Any background disturbance? No? Voice is clear? Okay. So Krishna says in the 9th chapter, 29th sloka in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, I'm not partial to anyone. I'm equal to all. Krishna says, I'm equal to all. But Krishna puts a comma and says, but that we should underline. Whoever renders service to me in devotion is a friend to me, and I am also a friend to him. Ye bhajantu mam bhaktya mayi te teshu chapi. Samoham sarva. Krishna says, I'm not partial to anyone. And in the purport, you can read, Prabhupada says, it's natural. The affection is natural. Okay. So we can't blame the Lord for that. Krishna is naturally inclined to the devotees in the sense as a father or mother is naturally, like you heard that a school bus got an accident, like your son or daughter went in that school bus. So when you run to the hospital and all the children are admitted to the hospital, some minor injury happened and all the kids are admitted in the hospital. You'll run first to your child or your neighbor's child or friend's child. Definitely you'll see whether your child is safe, right? First. Then you take care of other children. That's natural. How can you blame if that mother or father doesn't go to their child? That's wrong. That's wrong. That means that child, that father or mother is not responsible to take care of the child. So no. So like that natural affection, natural that is, okay, for Krishna. So in that way, Krishna is neutral. And Krishna is always neutral in material activities in the created world. And material activities is carried out by different potencies of the Lord. So Krishna has control in everything. So Prabhupada quote in the purport that the Lord is transcendental to all material dualities. Based on our past deeds and desires, the living entities take different forms. So Lord doesn't interfere. If we have a desire to live like an animal, eating, mating, sleeping, defending, the material nature will give us an animal body. Krishna doesn't interfere. Okay, that's your desire. But if you had a desire to advance spiritually, then Krishna will give us a spiritual body. So Lord has no engagement? No. Krishna has engagement. He's always involved in his eternal blissful spiritual activities and he has nothing to do with material activities. Okay. So Krishna is the supreme director of the Prakriti. He is actually the controller of the Prakriti. Krishna says, Maya Dikshena Prakriti Suyadesha Charachara Ketunanena Kaunteya Jagat Viparivartade. So this material nature, which is one of my energy, working under Krishna's direction, or son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again. So under Krishna's rule, everything is created. Krishna is actually neutral, aloof. He simply sanctions the material energy. And the management is done by the material nature on Krishna's behalf. Okay, Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya, Krishna says. All the species of life are made possible. Krishna is the seed-giving father, Aham Bija Pratapita. Material nature alone cannot do creation. She has to get sanction from the Lord. So the Lord glances, but the species are decided on the past karma and desires. Whatever karma we have done or our desires are, that body we get next. So this is one of the analogy Prabhupada says in the purport. This again comes at the Bhakti Shastri level question, like fragments of a flower. The fragrance of a flower touched by the smelling powder of a person. Yet the smelling and the flower is detached. Similar connection is there between the material world and the Supreme Personality Godhead. So flower and the fragrance will be always together. But is it attached? No. The smelling and the flower is detached. Similarly, the Lord and the material world is detached. So we'll have a breakout room between 9.4 to 10. Then you have to explain in your own words Krishna's relationship with the materials. Refer to Sanskrit terms, Prabhupada's purport and analogies. So you have to tell about Krishna's relationship with the material world from 9.4 to 10. After that, we'll have the attendance link posted. So I'll post the question on the chat. So you have to refer to 9.4 to 10 and then tell about Krishna's relationship with this material world. The breakout room. Hare Krishna Mataji, please post the attendance link. So we'll stop here. We'll take the breakout room question. Okay, please. Mataji, you can post the attendance link so that devotees can. Hare Krishna. Aishwarya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah. Please post the attendance link, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, I'll post.
Okay, so we'll take the breakout room question also by then. Okay, so room number 3. Rajalakshmi Mataji, Santosh Prabhu, Sharan Prabhu, Suvina Mataji, Aishwarya Mataji. So who's speaking? Room number 3.
It's me, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Sharan.
Hare Krishna. So our question is, explain in our own words Shri Krishna's relationship with the entire world with reference to Sanskrit terms, Prabhupada's purports and analogies given from Bhagavad Gita 9.4 till 10. So we discussed and we found that first the Sanskrit terms from Bhagavad Gita 9.4, Maya Tatam Idam Sarvam, which means the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, pervades and sustains the entire universe with his energy. Shri Krishna's supreme control and influence over the entire material creation. Bhagavad Gita 9.5, Matta Sthani Bhutani, all creations is situated in me. Like that Shri Krishna says, every entire creation is within himself. Bhagavad Gita 9.8 also relates to the material world. Shri Krishna also emphasizes from Bhagavad Gita 9.8 Sanskrit shloka, and also one more point is there, Bhagavad Gita 9.10 Madhyakshena Prakriti. Material nature operates under Shri Krishna, but Shri Krishna is not directly involved in it. These are the Sanskrit terms, and analogy is fragrance of the flower. Like how we can smell the fragrance of the flower if you go near the flower, but the smeller and the flower is not directly connected. Similarly, Shri Krishna's interaction with the material world is indirect. Another analogy is of a father and his son, of his child. The cosmic manifestation are existing according to the will of the Lord. Existing of Prakriti is due to the will of the Lord. So this was the analogy, and as per the purpose, Srila Prabhupada clearly mentions giving us Brahma Samhita, a reference to Brahma Samhita 5.38 in the and in that way, Srila Prabhupada has clearly mentioned how using this chapter 9, like how Shri Krishna is indirectly involved, but not directly involved to the material world. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, nice analogies. Yes, okay. So room number 2, Avik Prabhu, Kusumlata Mataji, Prit Prabhu, Rajalakshmi Mataji, Sharanya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Prit Prabhu.
Yeah. So in shloka number 4, Mataji, Krishna says, Mattani Sarva Bhutani. He says, all beings are in him. And to prove that this statement, all beings are in him, once Krishna had ate mud, and when Maya Yashoda told him to open his mouth, she saw whole universe in his hand. And that proves that all beings are in him. The analogy is given in this purpose, just as a sunshine is spread all over the universe, the energy of the Lord is spread all over the creation, and everything is resting in that energy. And then Krishna says, Nacham Tasva Vastitha, but he is not in them. Krishna says he is everywhere and everything is in him, but still he is aloof. Like if some law is implemented in state, it will be taken care by the cops. For that, law minister will not come to check whether it is followed or not. And also in shloka number 5, Krishna says, Nacha matstani bhutani. Everything that that is created does not rest in Krishna. So as we know, all the planets are floating on a Krishna's energy. So Krishna personally is not lifting the all the planets, but his energy is maintaining and making sure that all is maintained. So as a person, he is not doing it, but his energy is doing. So energies and energetic are not different; they are same. This is inconceivable, but simultaneously he is one and different. This is what it means. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so what about room number 1?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Neetu.
Yeah. So 9.4 Lord says that Lord supports and pervades the entire universe through his energy. This all-pervading aspect of the Lord is described as Jagat Avyakta Murtina, which means by his unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. Analogy, just as the sunshine is spread all over the universe, the energy of the Lord is spread all over the creation. Since the Lord is all-pervading, he does not lost his personal existence. For example, king is the head of the government, and different departments are nothing but the energies of the king. He is present in all departments by his energy. Next is the 9.5. It's a Bhoot Brin. He is the maintainer of everything, and Bhoot Bhavana. He is the source of everything. The Lord is not directly concerned with the maintenance and the sustenance of the material manifestation. Sometimes we see a picture of an Atlas holding the globe on his shoulder. He seems to be very tired holding this great earthly planet. Such an image should not entertain in connection with the Krishna's upholding this created universe. He says that although everything is resting on him, he is aloof. Next is the Yogam Ishwaryam. This term describes the inconceivable mystic opulences of the Lord, which means although everything is resting on him, but he is aloof. Example of the inconceivable opulences like the planetary system are floating in the space. Space is the energy of the Lord, but he is different from the space. Next analogy, the sky is biggest manifestation to conceive. In that sky, wind is the biggest to conceive. Although wind is great, but it is still situated within the sky. Wind is not beyond the sky. Similarly, all the wonderful manifestations are existing by the supreme will of the Lord and all the subordinate to the supreme will. Next is Kalpakshaya Punastam. Kalpakshaya Punastavani Kalpadyo Visijameham. At the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into the Lord's nature. All the Lords create and annihilates, but all this work cannot bind him. This quality is explained as Udasi, which means he is neutral. He is neutral to all the material activities which is happening. Analogy, High Court judge giving so many decisions, but he is neutral and unaffected with the gain and loss. Next is, without the supreme will of the Lord, material nature cannot do anything. Analogy, Lord is the father and the material nature is the mother. The father gives seed to the womb of the mother for a child. Similarly, the supreme Lord, by his glance, injects all the living entity into the womb of the material nature, and they come out as different form and species. Yeah, that's it, Mataji. One is there, I cannot get time. Visijami Puna Puna. Krishna says by his will, this material world is manifested again and again. That's it, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay, anybody likes to add anything or are we done? Okay, any doubts? So this is basically Rajavidyam Rajaguhya. So the most confidential, most secret of all knowledge. So we'll see in the 9th chapter, 34th sloka, the very most important sloka. So in another 2 sessions, we'll complete this chapter. So please upload your open book by 8th. I'll close the form, okay? 8th morning. Maybe we'll get one more weekend so that we don't postpone it. And please start studying slokas, any 3 slokas from module 2. Okay, Hare Krishna. I think we are done. Nothing more to add.
Any 3 shlokas in module 2?
Yeah, any 3.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, any 3.
Of our choice, Mataji?
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Okay, so I think we can close here. Vanchakalpadrupescha kripasindhute patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Vaishnava Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So our 45th batch have started. So please recommend to your friends and family, all of them, so that more people register and more of them can take advantage of these sessions. Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.